movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. I got big money. I drive big cars. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. I got big money. Everybody know. Brand new Rose Phantom. Put them scissors on the floor. When I pull up in the hood, niggas say they go to man. I put them Ashantis and Nellies on the rubber bands. California license plate, aftermath logo. Back at the dock, got those 5 years solo. Woke up in the club, till bottles to the floor. Tell them hoes I'm buying what they drinking, just pour it up. All my niggas are banging what you claim, just throw it up. If you ain't getting money like I'm getting, go get a cup. If you ain't getting pussy like I'm getting, take one of mine. You know I'm in this bitch for $20 worth of dimes. I got big money, I drive big cars. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. I got big money. I drive big cars. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Everybody know me. It's like I'm a movie star. Yeah, I'm from Compton. Everybody know I ain't riding on the Bronx. That was 2004. I ain't riding on Kobe's. That was 2005. If it ain't February's on the truck, it ain't right. Don't ask what I'm sitting on. Mirrors on the rims. Lamborghini topless. I caught a little Kim. Walking through the club with a...
Hey guys, I'm SouthWestGunner. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're obviously going to be covering my Zev Technologies OZ9. Zev Technologies decided to create a Glock that's pretty much theirs. That's what I bought. This is a Glock 17 version of it. There are different versions. There's a 19, a 19X, a whole bunch of different versions of the OZ9 that they've created. They have ported barrels and things like that and all different types of stuff, which is fantastic. But this is the Glock 17 version. I like a full-size gun. I always have. I carry a full-size gun. This is the gun I carry. I pretty much train, shoot, carry, use this thing, and it goes with me everywhere I go. So it is a great gun, and we are going to be going over it from frame, all the parts, slide, everything that's in it. First, I'm going to show you that it is clear. There's nothing in this gun, so we'll get through that. But yeah, so the ZEVTECH OZ9 is basically a Glock variant that ZEVTECH created, and it takes all of the Glock parts that any Glock would take. It's all compatible, so that's very nice. But yeah, we'll start from the frame and go through all the components that are involved, and then we'll move to the slide, and after that I'll tell you what I like and dislike, some pros and cons. That being said, we're going to try and keep this short and neat, and then we'll go from there. So starting with the frame, if you look at the bottom of the frame, you will see that there's a ZEVTECH flared magwell. The flared magwell is very nice because it makes it easy for me to perform my reloads faster and more proficient. It works very well. It's very sturdy. It's held into place. Haven't had any issues with it. Mine's a little banged up from use, but it is a great flared magwell. You can get this magwell for any Glock, I believe, that it is compatible with. So if you are interested in getting a flared magwell for your Glock, definitely check out Zev Technologies. The frame itself is stippled. It's got a very nice stippling job. I like the way it feels. I think it looks very nice, and it comes with the benefits, especially being out here in Arizona, where your hands get a little sweaty from all the heat. Some you tend to slip off your gun. This definitely helps with that situation. Inside of the frame, which is the coolest part of it all, is there's a single pin, and that single pin holds what is holding the trigger. It is a trigger pack. Inside the pack contains all the springs, the trigger bar, everything you need, basically just tucked away in a nice little package. Because of this package, the trigger pack itself has the serial number. That being said, you could take this pack out and it leaves you with an empty frame. Now you can change your different frame size, different frame colors. You could stipple them yourself. Pretty much gives you every option that you can imagine without having to buy another gun. So that is a major plus. I have seen other companies like SIG do that, and I would like to have seen Glocks and other companies continue to go down the trigger pack type ordeal, shall we say. I would like to see them all continue down that same path. So it's very nice that Zev got on board with that, and it makes it a lot easier to have interchangeable parts. In the front of that is my Surefire X300 U-B. I went with the U-B because it is the screw type mount instead of the QD mount. The reason why I went with the screw mount over the QD mount is because the QD mount kept getting chewed up by my holster. I tend to run this gun from time to time suppressed, and having it suppressed, you need a specific suppressor holster. That being said, in and out of the holster started chewing up my light, the mounting system, and I basically swapped the lights eventually after replacing the QD one too many times. So I am sporting the UB, and I'm going to be continuing down that path for any other pistol that I buy with the same light. I've changed out the ZEVTECH trigger, and I've put in a Boogeyman Customs Excommunicado trigger. The reason why I went with the Boogeyman Customs trigger is because there's nothing wrong with the ZEVTECH trigger. It's a great trigger in general. I just feel that the Boogeyman Customs trigger is a little bit smoother. It has a cleaner break, and it has a very nice reset. Anybody who has shot my gun is absolutely, definitely satisfied and impressed with the trigger's performance. Also, I like to support Boogeyman Customs because they're a local company. They are out here in Tucson, Arizona, and I cannot get enough of their stuff. They make a really good product. So I swapped it over for that, and that's pretty much, besides the attachments, the only thing that is in this gun that is not Zev Technologies. But that being said, my slide catch, slide release, whatever you want to call it, is just an OEM Glock one as well. This gun is not ambidextrous, and I am a lefty shooter. I just make do with what I got, and there's nothing special there, no special, extended release or anything like that. Moving on, we're going to go to the slide. On the slide, in the back, we have a pretty neat, nice honeycomb. It's a honeycomb end plate. The end plate's pretty nice. It's better than just having a plain one. There's nothing specific about it. It doesn't change any of the performance, but the visual itself is pretty pleasant, and I like the fact that they did that design. It is sporting a ZEVTECH rear sight. I love the way that this slide is cut because it's cut very low so that the standard rear sight matches up with your red dot, and you do not need suppressor height sights, so that's always a plus. That being said, the front sight, unfortunately, I broke when I went to replace it. A OEM Glock front sight was the only thing that was on hand that my friend had and hooked me up with it. So that's what I went with. But normally ZEVTECH OZ9s have a nice little tritium front sight post. Unfortunately, mine broke, and I just decided to go with an OEM one, and I'm okay with that. But the slide itself is cut. It's got some pretty cool slide cuts on the top and on some windows on the side. It's very nice. It's Cerakoted. Mine's a little worn from use. But besides that, it is cut for an RMR, or you could have other plates that it comes with for different optic styles. The barrel that it came with was a threaded ZEVTECH barrel. I have, however, put thousands of rounds through this gun, and I did end up switching the barrel. When I decided to switch the barrel, I went with the new Zev 9mm. It's the enhanced match grade barrel. It is a little more accurate. It's a little more precise. I think that's pretty awesome, and I could definitely tell a difference. It is by far one of, if not the most accurate pistol I've ever shot in my life. So having that barrel is definitely a plus, and I put quite a bit through this one, and I love it so far. Again, I run this pistol suppressed. My bad, quite often. I am running a rugged Obsidian 9. It is a great suppressor. This suppressor is very durable. It's got great materials involved in it. It suppresses very well with this gun. It sounds great. It feels pretty balanced, feels pretty good, not too heavy. And the pleasure of the OZ9 is not having to change any springs or recoil, guide rod and recoil springs, anything like that. This gun runs suppressed or unsuppressed the same. No big deal. Nothing to change there. Just throw the can on and enjoy. So that is a major plus right there. Now, that being said, we're going to go over the pros and cons of this gun. Like I said, there is quite a bit of pros and not many cons, but there are some. So we'll start with the pros. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I think it's a great gun, and I love the compatibility with all the Glock parts. So that being said, it's very easy to fix if there's any problems, and it's reliable as a Glock because it is a Glock. I think that the all black look with the flat dark earth attachments, which I So you can obviously can see I enjoy. I think it's very nice looking. I think this gun is definitely a performer. I have had little to no malfunctions with this gun. The malfunctions that I did have, I will get into that because it was some of the cons that I wanted to bring up. But overall, I love the way it feels. I love the angle of the grip. I love the way this gun shoots. It performs, everything about it. It's a really, really, really nice package from Zev Technologies. And also another pro is the company itself. They're really good with customer service, answering any questions you have or any message you send them on Instagram. They have always been really good with communication, and they also even share my posts. So shout out to ZEVTECH. That being said, we're going to get into some of the cons. Now, the cons are not many, but there are some specific ones that I think should be addressed. One of them is the grip itself is a little wide. It's a little wider than I'd like it to be. My roommate Mike, Trigger Mike, who is our filmer and the editor, he has a Shadow Systems, and the Shadow Systems is a little bit more slimmer in the grip area. It's not a make or break for me, but it definitely, I can tell the difference when I hold his gun and when I hold my gun, and I would love to have that slim package for this. I would love to have a slimmer frame overall. This gun, I can handle it no problem. I got okay size hands and it fits real good. I'd just like to maybe have it slimmer if that was a possible option, and unfortunately right now it is not. Another negative part of this gun, I have to go with the slide. In the slide, when they cut for the optics package, they did threading for the screws. Now, most slides are threaded and it becomes a blind hole. Unfortunately, Zev Technologies went with a through hole, which means instead of drilling in and threading it and having it stop at a certain point, they went all the way through the slide into the internals. That being said, I started to have some issues with my gun that unfortunately there was a gun influencer, a female who I will not name, who also had these situations, who sort of trash talked Zev Technologies OZ9s without knowing what was really going on, and it put a lot of bad taste in people's mouths. It unfortunately drew some negative attention. It even made me feel like maybe this thing was not worth the price tag that I paid, but I wanted to look into it a little further. I started just taking my gun apart, trying to figure out what was wrong with it because I kept having issues with it cycling incorrectly. Basically, my ejector was not ejecting the spent casing. It was just going off of it, and just basically you could rack the slide and it wouldn't throw the casing out. But when I would rack it slow, sometimes it would pull it out, throw it. I couldn't really seem to figure it out, but I thought maybe there was some carbon stuck behind my ejector. There was a lot of things that I was wondering. Basically, when I took off my RMR, I noticed that there were two different size screws. One screw was shorter than the other. The reason for that being is because of the through hole on the right side of the gun, the ejection side of the gun, the longer spring ends up pushing down on your ejector, causing it to sit on a certain angle, hence causing malfunctions with the gun. Now, that is not something I noticed for a while. That's not something that Zev has really made like a thing you need to look out for when you buy the gun, but they do provide the screws for their RMR because of that reason. I somehow swapped them when I was changing the battery on my RMR, and I did not realize the difference between the two, and I did not realize what it was going to do to my gun. Unfortunately, the influencer has quite a bit of a following who had this gun and trashed them. The damage was already done and it was a little too late. But that being said, I swapped the screws over. I haven't had a single issue like that since. Anything I have had is either just letting the gun get too filthy, shitty ammo, or human error. So that being said, overall, that con is not a huge one. It's just a thing I'd like to mention that kind of bothered me. Now, the last part would be the price tag. Granted, you buy a Glock and you start to build it out, it's going to start to cost you quite a bit of money. This gun, I believe I got it for $1,675, so $1,675 off the shelf when I bought it back at True Shot Gun Club in Tempe. I may be wrong on that price, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember it costing me. off the shelf, and it had no attachments. So to have no attachments and cost that much money is pretty expensive. It's not terrible. It's not bank breaking, but some people, maybe they can't afford it and they'd like a really nice Glock. Unfortunately, that's the price tag. I'd like to see them maybe possibly come down. I do think, however, saying all this, that it is worth the penny to spend, but it is a little bit up there, and that can kind of push people away from buying a gun like this. It's a little more on the high end. With that being said, I do believe that it's a great gun overall. If anybody is interested in buying a ZEVTECH OZ9 or have been considering it and you can afford it, definitely don't go broke for a gun. But if you can afford it and you're considering buying one of these guns, I definitely highly suggest that you do. It is a great pistol. I am a Glock fan till I die. I always have been. I always will be. It's definitely a lot prettier of a version of a Glock, because Glocks I don't think are the greatest looking gun. But this one is phenomenal. I highly suggest you buy one if you are considering it. Now, with that being said, I'm going to end the video there, but I am going to give a couple of shout outs before we do. I just wanted to give a shout out to Inside Parallax. That is the podcast that I am now co-hosting. My buddy Tony started a podcast, asked me to be part of it. Love it so far. Got a couple episodes out there, so go on over to Spotify and check out Inside Parallax. Shout out to Allied Threads Co., which is a clothing company that I've been doing a lot of work with. Me and Mike have both been doing a couple edits and things like that. If you follow me on my Instagram, you've probably seen a lot of the videos and pictures and things we've been doing. They make really cool gear, really comfortable clothing. It's my favorite shirts. I got a beanie, hoodie I just ordered and everything, and I love the company. I do a lot of work with them, and Chris, the guy who runs it, is just an awesome guy, and all the people involved are some of the most loyal and cool people. So definitely support them if you're looking for some pretty cool, pretty cool clothes and designs. So shout out to Allied Threads. Shout out to Inside Parallax. Another company I'd like to shout out is Whip Machine. Whip Machine is a sponsor of the Inside Parallax podcast. And when you use the code Inside Parallax, you get 76% off of your purchase. They have suppressors that they make that are really cool. They're very durable. Most of them are direct thread, but they are very well priced and they're very strong. They can basically handle pretty much any caliber you put through it, and full auto rated and all of that. And they suppress pretty nice. They're short, compact, thick cans, and I'm very impressed with them so far. Tony has a few of them, and they ended up sponsoring his podcast. So use Inside Parallax to save there, and also use Inside Parallax to save at Allied Threads Co. as well. I wanted to give a shout out to True Shot Ammo, True Shot Gun Club in Tempe, Arizona. Kyle is a good friend of mine who runs the company over there, and that is a great place to get ammo. It is the only place that I get ammo from, and they have a phenomenal pricing. You could order ammo, have it shipped to your door, and they always seem to have stock. They're one of the largest dealers in the country. They're opening up a second location, I believe in Tennessee, I think he said it was. And I'm looking forward to that, because they're going to have a lot more in stock and probably better prices over the years if we keep manufacturing ammo. And